Hello, my friend. I'm really happy you're here today. My name is Jack Ma, and before we begin, I want to ask you a simple question. How many times have you wanted to express yourself clearly, but the right words did not come at the right time? Maybe you were talking to a friend. Maybe you were speaking in a meeting. Maybe you were explaining something to your family, your teacher, your customer, or someone important in your life. You had thoughts in your mind, but when you opened your mouth, your message became shorter, weaker, or more confusing than you wanted. Maybe after the conversation ended, you thought, I should have said it better. Maybe you remembered the perfect sentence 5 minutes later. Maybe you felt nervous, quiet, or misunderstood. If this has happened to you, please understand something important. You are not alone. Many people have ideas, feelings, and knowledge inside them, but they do not always know how to communicate those ideas in a clear, calm, and confident way. Maybe you think communication skill means speaking with big words. Maybe you think it means having a perfect voice, a powerful personality, or a very strong vocabulary. But my friend, real communication is not about sounding perfect. Real communication is about making your message easy to understand. It is about listening with attention, speaking with purpose, choosing simple words, understanding and creating a connection. A good communicator is not always the loudest person in the room. A good communicator is the person who helps others feel heard, respected, and clear. And the beautiful thing is, communication is not a talent only some people are born with. Communication is a skill. And like every skill, it can be practiced, trained, and improved slowly every day. Maybe you are waiting until you feel more confident before you speak. Maybe you are waiting until your English becomes perfect. Maybe you are waiting until you know more vocabulary, more grammar, more phrases, and more professional sentences. But here is the truth. Confidence does not usually come before communication. Confidence grows because you practice communication. You become clearer by speaking. You become calmer by listening. You become more natural by trying again and again in small daily situations. You do not need to wait for a big speech or an important meeting to improve. You can improve communication skills while ordering food, asking a question, talking to a friend, sending a voice message, introducing yourself, explaining your opinion, or simply saying what you need in a polite and clear way. So in today's lesson, I want to help you improve your communication skills with 10 practical tips that you can use in daily life. These tips are simple, but if you practice them, they can change the way people understand you. They can help you speak more clearly, listen more deeply, respond more calmly, and express your thoughts with more confidence. We will not only talk about the tips, we will also practice them together, because knowing a communication tip is not enough. You need to use it. You need to feel it in real sentences. You need to train your mouth, your ears, and your mind to communicate better in real moments. Now, before we begin the first tip, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you are in a normal conversation. Someone asks you a simple question like, what do you think about this idea? You understand the question. You have an opinion. But suddenly your mind becomes busy. You start thinking, what should I say? What if my answer sounds wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if the other person does not understand me? Because of all these thoughts, your answer becomes very short. You say, yes, it is good, or I don't know, even though you had more to say. Later, when you are alone, you realize you could have said, I think it is a good idea because it can save time, but we should also think about the cost. That sentence is not difficult, but in the moment, you could not say it because communication needs training in real time. This is why the first tip is to speak with a clear purpose before you speak with many words. Many people try to speak quickly, but they do not know exactly what they want to say. They start talking, then they lose their direction. A clear purpose means you know the main message before you open your mouth. Ask yourself, what do I want the other person to understand? Maybe you want to explain a problem. Maybe you want to share an opinion. Maybe you want to ask for help. Maybe you want to say no politely. Maybe you want to show appreciation. When your purpose is clear, your words become more organized. You do not need to use complicated English. You just need to guide the listener from your main idea to your example and then to your final point. Let's practice this in a simple way. Repeat after me slowly. I want to explain my idea clearly. Again, I want to explain my idea clearly. Now repeat. My main point is simple. Again, my main point is simple. Now try this sentence. I think this is a good idea because it can save time. Again, I think this is a good idea because it can save time. Good. Now let's make it a little more natural. In my opinion, this is a useful idea because it can help us work faster. Again, in my opinion, this is a useful idea because it can help us work faster. Notice what happened here. The sentence is not too long. It has a clear purpose. You are not speaking randomly. You are giving your opinion and one simple reason. This is strong communication. Now let's use the same idea in daily life. Imagine someone asks you, why were you late today? A weak answer might be traffic. This answer is short, but it may sound careless. A clearer answer is, I'm sorry I was late. There was heavy traffic on the way, and I should have left earlier. Repeat after me. I'm sorry I was late. Again. I'm sorry I was late. Because there was heavy traffic on the way. Again. There was heavy traffic on the way. I should have left earlier. Again. I should have left earlier. Now say the full answer slowly. I'm sorry I was late. There was heavy traffic on the way. And I should have left earlier. Good. This is communication with responsibility. You explain the reason, but you also show maturity. Communication skill is not only about words. It is also about the feeling behind the words. The second tip is to listen before you prepare your answer. Many people do not truly listen. They only wait for their turn to speak. While the other person is talking, they are already thinking about their reply. Because of this, they miss important details. Then their answer does not match the real message. Good communication starts with good listening. When you listen carefully, you understand the person's words, emotions, and purpose. You can hear if they are confused, worried, excited, angry, or unsure. And when you understand the feeling behind the message, your reply becomes much stronger. Let's practice active listening. Imagine someone says, I'm really tired today because I had too much work. A weak response might be, oh, okay. But a better response is, that sounds exhausting. Did you get any time to rest? Repeat after me. That sounds exhausting. Again, that sounds exhausting. Did you get any time to rest? Again, did you get any time to rest? Now say it together. That sounds exhausting. Did you get any time to rest? Good. This response shows that you listened. You did not just hear the words. You noticed the feeling. This is a powerful part of communication. Now let's practice another situation. Someone says, I'm nervous about my interview tomorrow. You can say, I understand. Interviews can feel stressful, but I think you are prepared. Repeat after me. I understand. Again, I understand. Interviews can feel stressful. Again, interviews can feel stressful. But I think you are prepared. Again, but I think you are prepared. Now say the full response. I understand. Interviews can feel stressful, but I think you are prepared. Good. This sentence gives emotional support. It does not ignore the person's feeling. It accepts the feeling and then gives encouragement. This is how communication creates trust. The third tip is to use simple words before you use impressive words. Many learners think they must use difficult vocabulary to sound intelligent. But in real communication, simple and clear words are often stronger than long and complicated words. If your listener understands you easily, your communication is working. If your words are too complicated and your message becomes unclear, your communication becomes weak. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to connect with people. A simple sentence spoken clearly is better than a complicated sentence spoken with confusion. For example, instead of saying, I am experiencing a significant amount of uncertainty regarding this situation, you can say, I'm not sure about this situation. Both sentences have meaning, but the second one is easier, faster, and more natural. Repeat after me, I'm not sure about the situation. Again, I'm not sure about this situation. Now try this. Can you explain it in a simple way? Again, can you explain it in a simple way? Now try, I understand the main idea, but I need more details. Again, I understand the main idea, but I need more details. These sentences are useful in daily conversations, work conversations, classroom discussions, and friendly talks. They help you stay clear and confident. Now let's do a small practice exercise. I will give you a situation, and you will practice a clear sentence. Imagine you are in a group discussion, and you do not understand one point. Instead of staying silent, you can say, can you repeat that point, please? Repeat after me. Can you repeat that point, please? Again. Can you repeat that point, please? Now make it a little more polite. Sorry, can you repeat that point, please? Again. Sorry, can you repeat that point, please? Now make it more specific. Sorry, can you explain the last point again? Again. Sorry, can you explain the last point again? Good. This is a communication skill many people forget. Asking for clarification is not weakness. It is intelligence. It shows that you care about understanding correctly. So remember this, my friend. Communication skill begins with small daily habits. Before you speak, know your purpose. When someone speaks, listen with attention. When you choose your words, choose clarity before complexity. These 3 tips alone can already improve many conversations in your life. You do not need to become a perfect speaker in one day. You just need to become a little clearer, a little calmer, and a little more aware every day. In the next part of this lesson, we will continue with more powerful communication tips that help you speak with confidence, ask better questions, control your tone, and respond naturally in real conversations. The first important thing you need to understand is that communication does not begin when you start speaking. Communication begins before the first word comes out of your mouth. It begins with your intention. Before you speak, ask yourself, what do I really want to say? This simple question can change the whole conversation. Many people speak without a clear direction. They start with one idea, then move to another idea, then add too many details, and in the end, the listener becomes confused. But when your message has a clear purpose, your words become easier to follow. You do not need to speak perfectly. You do not need to use difficult words. You only need to help the other person understand your main point clearly. Let's take a simple example from daily life. Imagine someone asks you, Why do you want to improve your communication skills? You may say, because it is important. That answer is not wrong, but it is very short. It does not show your full thought. A clearer answer would be, I want to improve my communication skills because I want to express my ideas clearly, build better relationships, and feel more confident when I talk to people. Now, the listener understands your reason. Your answer has direction. Your answer has meaning. Repeat after me, slowly. I want to express my ideas clearly. Again, I want to express my ideas clearly. Now, repeat. I want to build better relationships. Again, I want to build better relationships. Now repeat. I want to feel more confident when I talk to people. Again, I want to feel more confident when I talk to people. This is the first practice habit. Before you answer a question, take one small moment and find your main idea. You can silently ask yourself, what is my point? If someone asks, how was your day? Do not just say good. You can say, my day was good because I finished my work early and had some time to relax. If someone asks, what do you think about this plan? Do not just say, it is okay. You can say, I think this plan is useful because it saves time, but we should also think about the cost. These answers are still simple, but they are more complete. They help people understand you better. That is communication. The second important tip is to listen with full attention. Many people think communication means speaking well, but listening is half of communication. Sometimes listening is even more powerful than speaking. When you listen carefully, you understand not only the words, all do, but also the emotion behind the words. You notice if the person is worried, excited, confused, tired, or happy. When you listen like this, your answer becomes more natural and more respectful. People feel comfortable with someone who truly listens. They feel valued. They feel important. And when people feel heard, they usually listen to you more openly too. Let's practice active listening with a daily life situation. Imagine your friend says, I am so tired today. I had a very long day at work. A weak reply would be, okay. But a better reply would be, that sounds exhausting. You worked really hard today. Repeat after me. That sounds exhausting. Again. That sounds exhausting. You worked really hard today. Again. You worked really hard today. Now say the full sentence. That sounds exhausting. You worked really hard today. Good. This is not a complicated sentence, but it shows care. It shows that you notice the person's feeling. This is how good communication creates connection. Now imagine someone says, I am nervous about speaking in front of people. You can reply, I understand. Speaking in front of people can feel scary, but you can improve with practice. Repeat after me. I understand. Again, I understand. Speaking in front of people can feel scary. Again, speaking in front of people can feel scary, but you can improve with practice. Again, but you can improve with practice. Now say it together. I understand. Speaking in front of people can feel scary, but you can improve with practice. This answer is supportive. You are not laughing at the person. You are not ignoring their fear. You are accepting their feeling and giving encouragement. This is strong communication. The third important tip is to speak in simple and clear language. Many English learners think they need big words to sound smart. But in real life, the best communicators often use simple words. Simple does not mean weak. Simple means easy to understand. If your listener understands you quickly, your communication is successful. If you use very difficult words and the listener becomes confused, your communication becomes weaker. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to connect with people. Clear words are powerful because they save time, reduce confusion, and make your message stronger. For example, instead of saying, I am experiencing difficulty in understanding this matter, you can say, I do not understand this clearly. Repeat after me, I do not understand this clearly. Again, I do not understand this clearly. Instead of saying, I require additional information, you can say, I need more details. Repeat after me. I need more details. Again, I need more details. Instead of saying, this situation is creating confusion for me, you can say, this is a little confusing for me. This is a little confusing for me. Again, this is a little confusing for me. These sentences are simple, natural, and useful. You can use them in real conversations. Now let's practice making simple answers stronger. If someone asks, do you agree with this idea? You can say, yes, I agree because it can help us save time. Repeat after me. Yes, I agree because it can help us save time. Again, yes, I agree because it can help us save time. If you do not agree, you can say, I understand the idea, but I see it differently. Repeat after me. I understand the idea, but I see it differently. Again, I understand the idea, but I see it differently. This sentence is very useful because it helps you disagree politely. You are not attacking the other person. You are showing respect while sharing your own opinion. That is a very important communication skill. The fourth important tip is to ask better questions. Good questions make conversations deeper, easier, and more natural. If you only ask very short questions, the conversation may stop quickly. But if you ask open questions, the other person gets a chance to speak more. For example, instead of asking, was your day good? You can ask, what was the best part of your day? This question invites a better answer. Instead of asking, do you like your job? You can ask, what do you enjoy most about your job? Instead of asking, are you okay? You can ask, how are you really feeling today? Better questions create better conversations. Let's practice. Repeat after me. What was the best part of your day? Again, what was the best part of your day? Now repeat. What do you enjoy most about your work? Again, what do you enjoy most about your work? Now repeat. How are you really feeling today? Again, how are you really feeling today? Good. These questions sound friendly and natural. They help people share more. They show that you are interested, not just polite. And when you ask better questions, you do not need to carry the whole conversation alone. The other person also starts sharing, and the conversation becomes more balanced. Now I want you to practice a short conversation with me. Imagine you meet a friend after a long time. You can say, it is so nice to see you again. How have you been? Repeat after me. It is so nice to see you again. How have you been? Good. Your friend says, I have been busy with work. Now you can ask, what has been keeping you so busy? Repeat after me. What has been keeping you so busy? Good. Your friend says, I have many new responsibilities. Now you can respond, that sounds like a lot. Are you enjoying the new responsibilities? Repeat after me. That sounds like a lot. Are you enjoying the new responsibilities? Very good. This is how communication flows. You listen, you respond, and you ask a natural follow-up question. The fifth important tip is to control your tone. Your tone is the feeling in your voice. Sometimes your words are correct, but your tone sends a different message. You may say, I am fine, but if your voice sounds angry, the other person understands anger, not peace. You may say, I understand, but if your tone sounds cold, the person may feel that you do not really care. Communication is not only about what you say, it is also about how you say it. A calm tone can make a difficult conversation easier. A kind tone can make a simple sentence feel warm. A respectful tone can protect a relationship even when you disagree. Let's practice one sentence with different feelings. Say this sentence in a calm way. I understand your point. Again, I understand your point. Now say it with respect. I understand your point and I appreciate your opinion. Again, I understand your point and I appreciate your opinion. Now say it when you disagree politely. I understand your point, but I have a different opinion. Again, I understand your point, but I have a different opinion. Notice that the words are simple, but the tone makes them powerful. If you say this sentence calmly, people are more likely to listen to you. If you say it with anger, they may become defensive. So always remember, your tone can open the door or your tone can close the door. Another important communication skill is learning how to pause before you respond. Many people feel pressure to answer immediately. They think if they pause, the other person will believe they are weak, slow, or unsure. But in real communication, a small pause can make you sound more thoughtful and mature. A pause gives your brain time to choose better words. It helps you avoid reacting too quickly, especially when the conversation is emotional or difficult. Sometimes the problem is not that we do not know what to say. The problem is that we speak too fast before we understand what we really want to say. Someone asks you a difficult question, like, why did you make this decision? If you answer too quickly, you may become nervous and give a confusing answer. But if you take one calm breath and say, that is a good question. Let me explain my reason. You sound more confident. Repeat after me. That is a good question. Again, that is a good question. Let me explain my reason. Again, let me explain my reason. Now say it together. That is a good question. Let me explain my reason. Good. This sentence gives you time. It also tells the listener that you are going to answer clearly. You are not running away from the question. You are preparing to answer it in an organized way. You can use this pause technique in many daily situations. If someone asks for your opinion and you need a moment, you can say, let me think about that for a second. Let me think about that for a second. Again, let me think about that for a second. If someone says something surprising, you can say, I did not expect that. Can you tell me more? Repeat after me. I did not expect that. Can you tell me more? Again, I did not expect that. Can you tell me more? If someone gives you information and you want to make sure you understand, you can say, so, if I understand correctly, you mean this. Repeat after me. So, if I understand correctly, you mean this. Again. So, if I understand correctly, you mean this. These small phrases make communication smoother because they give you time and show the other person that you are listening carefully. The next tip is to organize your thoughts in a simple pattern. Many people have good ideas, but their ideas come out in a messy way. They start with details first, then explain the main idea later, and the listener gets lost. A simple pattern can help you speak clearly. You can use this pattern in many conversations. Say your main point first, then give one reason, then give one example. This is very easy, but very powerful. For example, if someone asks, do you think daily practice improves communication? You can say, yes. I think daily practice improves communication because it makes speaking feel more natural. For example, if you practice explaining your day every evening, your words become faster and clearer. This answer has a main point, a reason, and an example. It is easy to follow. Let's practice this pattern together. Repeat after me. My main point is this. Again, my main point is this. Now repeat. The reason is simple. Again, the reason is simple. Now repeat. For example, in daily life, this can help you speak better. Again. For example, in daily life, this can help you speak better. Good. Now let's create a full answer. Repeat after me. I think listening is very important because it helps us understand people better. For example, when we listen carefully, we can give a better reply. Again, I think listening is very important because it helps us understand people better. For example, when we listen carefully, we can give a better reply. Very good. This type of answer is clear and useful. You can use this style in interviews, meetings, classrooms, friendly conversations, and even voice messages. Now let's practice another answer using the same pattern. The question is, why is confidence important in communication? You can say, confidence is important because it helps us express our ideas without fear. For example, when I feel confident, I can ask questions and share my opinion more easily. Repeat after me, slowly. Confidence is important because it helps us express our ideas without fear. Again, confidence is important because it helps us express our ideas without fear. Now, repeat. When I feel confident, I can ask questions and share my opinion more easily. Again, when I feel confident, I can ask questions and share my opinion more easily. Good. This is how you train yourself to speak with structure. You do not need to memorize long speeches. You only need a simple pattern that helps your message move in a clear direction. The next tip is to use body's language in a natural and respectful way. Even when you are speaking English, your communication is not only in your words. Your face, your eyes, your hands, your posture, and your energy also send a message. If your words are friendly, but your face looks bored, the other person may feel that you are not interested. If your words are confident, but your body is closed and tense, people may feel that you are unsure. Good body language supports your words. It helps your message feel more honest and comfortable. You do not need to act like a perfect speaker. Just start with small habits. When someone is speaking, look at them with attention. Do not stare in a strange way. Just show that you are present. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Nod a little when you understand. Use small facial expressions to show interest. If the person says something happy, smile gently. If the person says something serious, keep your face calm and respectful. These small things tell the other person, I am here. I am listening. I respect what you are saying. That feeling is very important in communication. Let's practice sentences that match good body language. Repeat after me. I am listening. Again. I am listening. Now repeat. Please continue. Again. Please continue. Now repeat. I understand what you mean. Again. I understand what you mean. Now repeat. That makes sense. Again. That makes sense. These short sentences are powerful when your body language matches them. If you say, I am listening, but you are looking away and checking something else, the sentence becomes weak. But if you say it with attention and calm energy, the person feels respected. The next tip is to show empathy when you communicate. Empathy means you try to understand the other person's feelings. It does not mean you always agree with them. It means you recognize their experience. Many conversations become difficult because people only defend their own point. They do not stop to understand the other person. But when you show empathy, the conversation becomes softer. The other person feels less attacked. They become more open to listening to you too. For example, imagine someone says, I am upset because nobody understood my idea. You can say, I can understand why you feel upset. It is frustrating when your idea is not heard. Repeat after me. I can understand why you feel upset. Again, I can understand why you feel upset. It is frustrating when your idea is not heard. Again, it is frustrating when your idea is not heard. Now say the full response. I can understand why you feel upset. It is frustrating when your idea is not heard. Good. This response does not blame anyone. It simply recognizes the feeling. That is empathy. Now imagine someone says, I tried to speak English today, but I made many mistakes. A helpful response is, I understand. Making mistakes can feel uncomfortable, but it also means you are practicing. Repeat after me. I understand. Again, I understand. Making mistakes can feel uncomfortable. Again, making mistakes can feel uncomfortable, but it also means you are practicing. Again, but it also means you are practicing. This is a beautiful communication sentence because it supports the person and changes the meaning of the mistake. Instead of making the mistake feel like failure, you help the person see it as practice. The next tip is to be specific. General communication is often weak because it does not give enough information. If you say, I need help, the other person may not know what kind of help you need. But if you say, I need help understanding this report, your message becomes clearer. If you say, I am busy, the other person may not understand your situation. But if you say, I am busy until 5 o'clock, but I can talk after that, your message becomes more useful. Specific communication saves time and reduces misunderstanding. Let's practice being specific. Repeat after me. I need help with this sentence. Again, I need help with this sentence. Now repeat. I can meet you after 5 o'clock. Again, I can meet you after 5 o'clock. Now repeat. I agree with the first idea, but I have a question about the second idea. Again, I agree with the first idea, but I have a question about the second idea. Good. These sentences are clear because they give details. You are not making the listener guess. You are guiding them. Let's do a small practice exercise. I will give you a weak sentence, and then we will make it stronger. Weak sentence. I don't like it. Stronger sentence. I don't like this plan because it feels too expensive for our budget. Repeat after me. I don't like this plan because it feels too expensive for our budget. Again. I don't like this plan because it feels too expensive for our budget. Weak sentence. I need time. Stronger sentence. I need one more day to finish this properly. Repeat after me. I need one more day to finish this properly. Again. I need one more day to finish this properly. Weak sentence. I am confused. Stronger sentence. I am confused about the last instruction. Can you explain it again? Repeat after me. I am confused about the last instruction. Can you explain it again? Again. I am confused about the last instruction. Can you explain it again? Good. This is how you turn weak communication into clear communication. You add useful details, but you do not make the sentence too long. So keep practicing these habits in small conversations. Pause before you answer. Organize your thoughts with a simple pattern. Use natural body language. Show empathy. Be specific when you speak. These skills may look small, but they make a big difference. When you practice them every day, people understand you more easily. You feel more prepared. Your conversations become smoother. And little by little, you stop feeling afraid of communication and start feeling ready to express yourself with calm confidence. Another powerful communication skill is learning how to disagree respectfully. In daily life, you will not always agree with people. You may have a different opinion from your friend, your coworker, your teacher, your family member, or someone you meet in a conversation. But disagreement does not have to become an argument. A good communicator knows how to share a different opinion without insulting the other person. This is very important because many people think disagreement means conflict. But actually, disagreement can be healthy if it is expressed with respect. You can disagree and still be kind. You can share your opinion and still listen. You can protect your relationship and still speak honestly. A weak way to disagree is to say, "You are wrong." This sentence may be direct, but it can hurt the other person. It can make them defensive. A better way is to say, "I understand your point, but I see it differently." Repeat after me. I understand your point, but I see it differently. Again. I understand your point, but I see it differently. Another useful sentence is, "That is an interesting idea, but I have a different opinion." Repeat after me. That is an interesting idea, but I have a different opinion. Again. That is an interesting idea, but I have a different opinion. These sentences are polite because they first recognize the other person's idea, and then they share your own view. This small difference can change the whole feeling of the conversation. Let's practice this in a real daily situation. Imagine someone says, "I think we should finish this work today, even if it takes many hours." Maybe you do not agree because everyone is tired and the quality may become poor. You can say, "I understand why you want to finish it today, but I think we may do better work if we continue tomorrow." Repeat after me slowly. I understand why you want to finish it today. Again. I understand why you want to finish it today, but I think we may do better work if we continue tomorrow. Again. But I think we may do better work if we continue tomorrow. Now say the full response. I understand why you want to finish it today, but I think we may do better work if we continue tomorrow. Good. This is respectful, clear, and mature communication. The next tip is to check understanding. Many communication problems happen because people think they understand each other, but actually they understand different things. One person says something. The other person hears it in a different way. Then later, a mistake happens, and both people feel frustrated. To avoid this, you can check understanding during the conversation. This does not make you look weak. It makes you look careful and professional. When you check understanding, you show that you care about accuracy. You also reduce confusion before it becomes a bigger problem. You can use simple sentences like, "Let me make sure I understand." Repeat after me. Let me make sure I understand. Again. Let me make sure I understand. You can say, "So you mean we should finish this by Friday, right?" Repeat after me. "So you mean we should finish this by Friday, right?" Again. "So you mean we should finish this by Friday, right?" You can say, "Just to confirm, you want me to call you tomorrow morning?" Repeat after me. "Just to confirm, you want me to call you tomorrow morning?" Again. "Just to confirm, you want me to call you tomorrow morning?" These sentences are very useful in work, study, appointments, plans, and daily conversations. They help you avoid mistakes because you are not guessing, you are confirming. Let's practice one full conversation. Someone says, "Please send me the file after you make the changes." You can reply, "Sure. Just to confirm, you want me to make the changes first and then send the final file today." Repeat after me. "Sure. Just to confirm, you want me to make the changes first and then send the final file today?" Again. "Sure. Just to confirm, you want me to make the changes first and then send the final file today?" Good. Now imagine someone says, "Let's meet later." This is not clear. Later can mean many things. You can ask, "What time works best for you?" Repeat after me. "What time works best for you?" Again, what time works best for you? Now you can add, I am free after 6 o'clock. Repeat after me. I am free after 6 o'clock. Again, I am free after 6 o'clock. Good. This is how clear communication saves time. The next tip is to match your message to the situation. We do not communicate the same way in every place. The way you speak with a close friend may be different from the way you speak with your boss, your teacher, a customer, or a new person. Good communication means understanding the situation and choosing the right level of formality. You do not need to become fake. You simply need to be aware. With friends, you can be relaxed and casual. In professional situations, you may need to be clearer, more polite, and more organized. With someone who is upset, you may need to speak more gently. With someone who needs information quickly, you may need to be direct and simple. For example, if you are talking to a close friend, you might say, "Can you help me with this?" But in a more formal situation, you can say, "Could you please help me with this when you have time?" Repeat after me. Could you please help me with this when you have time? Again, could you please help me with this when you have time? If you are talking to a friend, you might say, "Send me the details." But in a professional situation, you can say, "Could you please send me the details when possible?" Repeat after me. Could you please send me the details when possible? Again, could you please send me the details when possible? Notice that the meaning is the same, but the feeling is different. Polite language makes the message softer and more respectful. Now let's practice changing direct sentences into polite sentences. Direct sentence. Tell me your answer. Polite sentence. Could you please share your answer with me? Repeat after me. Could you please share your answer with me? Again. Could you please share your answer with me? Direct sentence. I need this now. Polite sentence. Could you please send this as soon as possible? Repeat after me. Could you please send this as soon as possible? Again. Could you please send this as soon as possible? Direct sentence. You did not explain it well. Polite sentence. I am not fully clear yet. Could you explain it one more time? Repeat after me. I am not fully clear yet. Could you explain it one more time? Again, I am not fully clear yet. Could you explain it one more time? This is a very useful skill because sometimes the message is not the problem. The way we say the message is the problem. Another important tip is to use examples when your message feels unclear. Examples are like small pictures in your words. When you explain only an idea, the listener may understand it a little. But when you give an example, the listener can imagine it. Examples make communication more concrete. If you say, "We need to communicate better," that is a general idea. But if you say, for example, when we make a plan, we should confirm the time, place, and responsibility. The listener understands exactly what you mean. Examples make your message easier to remember. Let's practice adding examples. Repeat after me. Let me give you an example. Again. Let me give you an example. Now repeat. For example, if someone asks for help, we should answer clearly. Again. For example, if someone asks for help, we should answer clearly. Now repeat. A simple example is this. Again. A simple example is this. These small phrases are very helpful when you are explaining something. They give your listener a signal that you are about to make your idea clearer. Imagine someone asks you, "What do you mean by better communication?" You can answer, "Better communication means saying your message clearly and listening carefully." For example, if someone gives you instructions, you can repeat the main point to make sure you understood correctly. Repeat after me. Better communication means saying your message clearly and listening carefully. Again. Better communication means saying your message clearly and listening carefully. Now repeat. If someone gives you instructions, you can repeat the main point to make sure you understood correctly. Again, if someone gives you instructions, you can repeat the main point to make sure you understood correctly. Good. This answer is stronger because it explains the idea and gives a real example. Now let's practice a situation where you need to explain a problem. You can say, the problem is not the whole plan. The problem is the timing. For example, if we start too late, we may not finish before the deadline. Repeat after me. The problem is not the whole plan. Again. The problem is not the whole plan. The problem is the timing. Again. The problem is the timing. For example, if we start too late, we may not finish before the deadline. Again, for example, if we start too late, we may not finish before the deadline. This is strong communication because it does not attack the whole idea. It explains the specific issue and gives an example. When you communicate like this, people can understand your concern without feeling attacked. Helot, the final tip in today's lesson is to practice communication every day in small, real moments. Many people want better communications skills, but they only think about communication when they have a big conversation. They wait for a meeting, an interview, a presentation, or an important discussion. But communications improves through small daily practice. Every time you greet someone, ask a question, explain your opinion, listen to someone's problem, or send a clear message, you are training communication. You do not need one perfect hour. You need small moments repeated often. You can practice by explaining your day out loud. Say, today was a busy day because I had many tasks, but I managed my time well. Repeat after me. Today was a busy day because I had many tasks, but I managed my time well. Again. Today was a busy day because I had many tasks, but I managed my time well. You can practice by giving your opinion. Say, I think communication is important because it helps people understand each other better. Repeat after me. I think communication is important because it helps people understand each other better. Again, I think communication is important because it helps people understand each other better. You can practice by asking better questions. Say, what did you learn today? Repeat after me. What did you learn today? Again, what did you learn today? Now say, what was difficult for you today? Repeat after me. What was difficult for you today? Again, what was difficult for you today? If you want a simple daily routine, try this. Every day, choose one small situation and speak about it for 1 minute. Talk about your morning. Talk about your work. Talk about a conversation you had. Talk about something you learned. Talk about a problem and how you solved it. Use simple words. Speak slowly. Try to include your main point, one reason, and one example. For example, you can say, today, I practiced communication by listening carefully to my friend. I did not interrupt. I asked one follow-up question. This helped the conversation feel more natural. Repeat after me. Today, I practiced communication by listening carefully to my friend. Again, I did not interrupt. Again, I asked one follow-up question. Again, this helped the conversation feel more natural. Very good. This is not only English practice. This is life practice. So, as you continue improving your communication skills, remember that you are not trying to become perfect. You are trying to become clearer. You are trying to become calmer. You are trying to become a better listener, a better speaker, and a better connector. You are learning how to share your ideas without fear, how to listen without rushing, how to disagree without attacking, and how to speak in a way that helps people understand you. These are skills you can use every day, in every relationship, in every conversation, and in every part of your life. Now let's bring everything together with one complete communication practice. Imagine someone asks you, how can I improve my communication skills? You do not need to give a perfect answer. You can give a clear answer. You can say, you can improve your communication skills by speaking clearly, listening carefully, asking better questions, and practicing in small daily conversations. Repeat after me slowly. You can improve your communication skills by speaking clearly. Again, you can improve your communication skills by speaking clearly. Now repeat. By listening carefully. Again, by listening carefully. Now repeat. By asking better questions. Again, by asking better questions. Now repeat. And by practicing in small daily conversations. Again, and by practicing in small daily conversations. Now say the full answer. You can improve your communication skills by speaking clearly, listening carefully, asking better questions, and practicing in small daily conversations. Good. Now let's make the answer stronger by adding a reason. You can say, these habits are important because communication is not only about talking, it is also about understanding people and helping people understand you. Repeat after me. Communication is not only about talking. Again, communication is not only about talking. It is also about understanding people. Again, it is also about understanding people and helping people understand you. Again, and helping people understand you. This is a very important idea. Many people talk a lot, but they do not always communicate well. Good communication is not measured by how many words you say. It is measured by how clearly your message reaches the other person. Now I want you to practice a real answer about yourself. You can say, I am learning to communicate better because I want to express my thoughts more clearly. I want to listen with more patience. I want to speak with more confidence. And I want to build better relationships in my daily life. Repeat after me slowly. I am learning to communicate better because I want to express my thoughts more clearly. Again, I am learning to communicate better because I want to express my thoughts more clearly. Now repeat. I want to listen with more patience. Again, I want to listen with more patience. Now repeat. I want to speak with more confidence. Again, I want to speak with more confidence. Now repeat. And I want to build better relationships in my daily life. Again, and I want to build better relationships in my daily life. Very good. This answer is personal, simple, and meaningful. Let's practice a daily conversation. Someone says, I feel like people do not understand me when I speak. You can respond, I understand how that feels. Maybe you can try speaking a little slower and explaining your main point first. Repeat after me. I understand how that feels. Again, I understand how that feels. Maybe you can try speaking a little slower. Again, maybe you can try speaking a little slower. And explaining your main point first. Again, and explaining your main point first. This response is helpful because it shows empathy and is a simple suggestion. You are not judging the person. You are supporting them. Now imagine someone asks you for feedback. They say, how was my explanation? Now you can say your explanation was clear and I liked your example. Maybe you can make the beginning a little shorter next time. Repeat after me. Your explanation was clear. Again, your explanation was clear. And I liked your example. Again, and I liked your example. Maybe you can make the beginning a little shorter next time. Again, maybe you can make the beginning a little shorter next time. This is a useful way to give feedback because you say something positive first Then you give one clear suggestion. Good feedback should help people improve without making them feel small. Now, let's practice a polite correction. Imagine someone misunderstands you. Instead of saying, "No, that is not what I said," you can say, "Sorry, maybe I did not explain it clearly. What I meant was this." Repeat after me. "Sorry, maybe I did not explain it clearly." Again. "Sorry, maybe I did not explain it clearly. What I meant was this." Again. "What I meant was this." This sentence is very powerful because it protects the conversation. You are not blaming the other person. You are taking responsibility for clarity. This makes the other person more open to listening again. As you practice communication, try to notice small moments every day. Notice how you greet people. Notice how you ask questions. Notice how you explain your thoughts. Notice how you react when someone disagrees with you. Notice if you interrupt, rush, or become nervous. Do not judge yourself harshly. Just observe yourself and improve one small thing at a time. Maybe today you practice listening without interrupting. Tomorrow you practice giving one clear reason with your opinion. The next day you practice asking one better question. These small actions may look simple, but over time they can change the way you speak, listen, and connect with people. Remember, communication skills grow through real use. You cannot improve only by thinking about communication. You improve by communicating. Speak a little more clearly today. Listen a little more patiently today. Ask one better question today. Give one more specific answer today. Use a calm tone today. Check understanding today. Show empathy today. Every small conversation can become practice. Every mistake can become a lesson. Every sentence can make you more confident. And when you keep practicing, your communication becomes not only stronger, but also more natural, more respectful, and more useful in real life. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope this lesson helped you understand that communication skills are not something mysterious or impossible. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to speak like a professional speaker from the first day. You only need to keep practicing small, clear, useful communication habits in your daily life. Speak with purpose. Listen with attention. Ask better questions. Use simple words. Control your tone. Show empathy. Check understanding. Give examples. And most importantly, keep practicing in real conversations, even if your sentences are not perfect yet. Before you leave, I want you to remember one thing. Every conversation is a chance to grow. When you talk to a friend, when you ask for help, when you explain your opinion, when you listen to someone's problem, or when you send a simple message, you are training your communication skills. So do not wait for the perfect moment. Start with one small conversation today. Try to speak a little more clearly. Try to listen a little more patiently. Try to ask one better question. These small actions can slowly make you more confident, more natural, and more comfortable when you communicate with people. If this lesson helped you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep practicing with me. Your communication can improve step by step, sentence by sentence, and conversation by conversation. Keep going, my friend. I believe you can become a clearer, calmer, and more confident communicator in English.